it was Ardoyne. I lived in Ardoyne, was born in Ardoyne, and then moved out of Ardoyne to Highfield, and then moved from Highfield to Turf Lodge, and then from Turf Lodge to Ballymurphy. I was in the Republican clubs in Turf Lodge, Henry J. McCracken Republican clubs in Turf Lodge, and the what was the Republican clubs in Ballymurphy?
Betsy Gray.
Betsy Gray Republican clubs in Ballymurphy, and then moved from Ballymurphy to North Belfast to the Old Park constituency.
So when did you become aware of the issues that prompted the civil rights marches?
I met Sean Morrissey, who was a member of the CP, and he was chairman of the Turf Lodge Tenants Association. And I was talking to him, and he gave me a sort of a history of the Civil Rights Association. He was very active in the trade union movement and also the Tenants Association, along with a couple of other people. And then the Republican clubs got very active in Turf Lodge in the early 70s, and they met the CP. So they did.
And when and how did you become aware of the Burntallet March on the 4th of January?
There was a meeting in Queens, and I attended the meeting in Queens, and then went to the march along with a member of the Republican clubs, Martin Taggart from Turf Lodge. I think we got a lift to Antrim, and we joined the march in Antrim and marched to Claudy, where the Republican club's banner was unfolded. I think it was a Queen's University branch of Republican clubs. But I don't know how long it was carried. I don't know if it was carried as far as Burntallet. I think PD objected to the Republican club's banner. I'm not sure what happened, but at Burntallet, the police tried to protect us with their shields when they were attacked. They were attacked from the hill by Major Bunting. He was there with a crowd of supporters. The police were trying to protect me with a plastic shield when I got hit with a brick and was brought to Applegallen Hospital. I don't know, I can't remember if it was brought in a police Land Rover, but there was a lot injured. There was a lot stitched. And then getting the stitches out, I went to the Royal, and they wouldn't give me an injection to take the stitches out. I just wanted the stitches, so I walked out. I went to Frances, your ma, Frances O'Hare, and she took the stitches out. What?
She was a nurse.
She was a nurse.
What did you feel after the march? Did it prove or gain anything? Did it open people's eyes to the situation in Northern Ireland at the time?
I think personally believe that PD were divisive. Jerry McCann and them were divisive and tried to destroy the civil rights. Civil rights were trying to be non-sectarian and protested a lot in Gangall Street at the Unionist headquarters, and there were a lot of Protestant protesters supporting the Unionists, or weren't supporting the civil rights. Well, the civil rights was trying to support them, and the Republican clubs were very anti-sectarian and tried to promote that part of the civil rights. And I think that John Hume didn't take part until the TV cameras appeared. He didn't want to take any part. He only came on the scene when there was TV cameras and he was getting publicity. And Jerry Fitt supported the marches in Derry. And they were supported by the Republican clubs. I think the Republican clubs done more than they got credit for. They didn't get the credit that they deserved. I think that they led the local more so than the SDLP or the Communist Party. The Republican clubs were more locally involved with the people on the ground and didn't get the recognition that they should have had. I think personally that the Republican clubs showed a particular leadership. That was non-sectarian and continued through the 70s with building a non-sectarian party. The professionals tried their best to destroy the Republican club's politics. and they're trying their best to rewrite history, which the Republican clubs should oppose.
I can't claim to have had played any significant role in the civil rights movement. I did, of course, go to some of the rallies, etc., and I was very aware of the situation pertaining to what the rallies and what the civil rights movement was about. I grew up when we moved to Belfast in a very mixed working class area. And I found it hard to understand why working class Protestants weren't getting on board with the demands that the civil rights movement have, because contrary to popular opinion, I realised that they were no better off than I was. Some of them may have had jobs in the shipyards, etc., but it was low pay and there was still poverty, poor housing, all of the rest. And as I got older, I did realise and I admired the role that the Republican clubs played, because I knew that it wasn't anything to do with the ordinary working class Protestants, why people were being denied jobs, houses, one man, one vote. And it seemed to me that the only party who were at all interested in joining and uniting the working class was the Republican clubs, and I joined them. I think it was the Henry Joy was in Turf Lodge was the first club, because sadly we were burnt out when 69 came and I moved from North Belfast to West Belfast. But I was Henry Joy and then the Betsy Gray and then the Central branch. And to me what stood out, and I had been an active trade unionist as well, was that the Workers' Party was the one party in all of it that was calling for a Bill of Rights as well. And I've always been very proud to have joined that party all of those years ago, because they were the first to be calling for a Bill of Rights. Sadly, if the civil rights movement had been allowed to run its course, because it was making gains by its protests and that, and then sadly the violence, those who jumped on the bandwagon and used it for other issues like the national question, United Ireland, sort of, etc., and actually as career opportunities, I think did a disservice, because I often think that we already had achieved one man, one vote. We had achieved the housing executive housing. We were making inroads and towards legislation for employment, etc. You know, would we, if we hadn't had that violence, had the Bill of Rights that we all cherish? I think we would have. And now I find it very sad that all of these years afterwards, we are still the only party that's still demanding a Bill of Rights for all of our people. I think we're the only party that understands that exercising our rights is not a zero-sum game. It does not entail taking rights away from someone else. And I know the Workers' Party never envisaged a separate but equal society. And I think that's what some of those who then were involved in the civil rights movement, who moved on to other things, particularly the likes of the Provisionals and Sinn Féin, they were about the disunity of the working class. They were about separate but equal. We were about unity and a Bill of Rights, and everyone and every citizen in our society having rights. And I still believe that the Workers' Party is the only way to go. I feel often that, I mean, I was born to be in the Workers' Party and I'll die in the Workers' Party.